Renown has a brutal yet rewarding charm that keeps you coming back, and getting right into the action should be your #1 priority. In today's video, we're going to go over what you need to know before getting started with Renown. With its early access release happening today, we're excited to show off some cool features and things you might have missed in your first few hours of playtime within this daunting world. When you're just starting out in Renown, you're incredibly vulnerable. One of the first things you should do is craft all the types of starter clothing. A lot of players skip this because they think it's not really worth the time or the resources, but it's cheap, fast, and it adds a surprising amount of protection. Every little bit of armor helps, especially early on when a few extra points of defense can be the difference between living and getting one-tapped. Just grab some flax, make the gear, and you're ahead of the players running around in rags. During the tutorial, it mentions barrels being the source of gold, but it's not the only source of gold in Renown. Crates are scattered all over the map too, and they actually give you a bit more. When you break a crate, it drops a loot bag with extra gold and often better loot than a barrel. On top of that, keep your eyes peeled for chests, especially in villages, camps, or near ruined buildings. Sometimes these chests can be protected by guards or bandits, so be ready for a fight. Speaking of gold coins, they're not just for trading. Gold coins can be smelted down into gold ingots, and that's important because gold ingots are used in a lot of research later on. So don't just go spending gold coins the second you get them. If you've got access to a furnace and a research bench, start stacking those coins and smelting them when you can. It's easy to miss this, but if you want to unlock better gear and tech, you're gonna need a solid stash of ingots. Now let's talk about flax, specifically the plant fiber you get from it. It's important you grab as much as you can. You need it for almost everything in the game. Clothing, equipment, healing items, and even parts of your base setup. So anytime you see flax, stop what you're doing and just grab it. You'll thank yourself later when you're not stuck searching for a single plant fiber to make a bandage. While looting towns, camps, or abandoned villages, make sure you check for weapon racks. They can hold weapons that are better than anything you can craft early on, like arming swords, Norse swords, quarterstaffs, and even sometimes exotic gear. These weapons can help you in combat, especially when you're still rocking the default starter tools. They don't spawn every time, but when they do, they're absolutely worth grabbing. The one thing players often forget is that buildings decay over time. If you build something and you don't maintain it, it'll start falling apart quickly. To prevent that, you need to repair your structures regularly and, more importantly, store resources inside your banner. The banner will then automatically consume those materials to maintain your base, which saves you from having to constantly patch things up manually. A well-maintained base doesn't just last longer, it's way more resistant to attacks. And while we're on the topic, let's go a bit deeper into building a smart base. In Renown, you don't want to build a box and call it a day. You gotta think ahead because there are siege weapons in the game. By the time other players unlock catapults through tier 3 research, they can start breaking into poorly designed bases with ease. So from the very start, build with defense in mind. Use choke points, layered walls, elevated shooting platforms, and consider building partially into terrain when you can. Upgrade your materials over time and don't make your banner easy to find. Now let's shift into combat, which is one of the most fun parts, but can also be one of the most punishing parts of the game. One big thing that separates experienced players from newer ones is how they use different attack directions. You can change your attack direction using the scroll wheel or the Alt key, which helps change your attacks to throw your opponent off guard. You want to mix things up so your opponent can't easily read every single one of your attacks. Speaking of these attacks, pressing C lets you throw a jab in, which interrupts slower attacks. It's super useful for stopping aggressive players mid-swing. You can also drag your mouse while attacking to speed up your strike, which helps your weapon connect just a little faster than usual. It's all about timing and movement. Small differences can win big fights. Something that trips new players up and definitely gave me a pause is the higher tier crafting tables, like the furnace, aren't actually crafted from scratch. You don't build them like you would a chest or a campfire. Instead, they're upgraded versions of existing stations, and you do that with the mallet. So for example, if you've got a basic campfire or forge down, you don't need to demolish it to get a better version. Just equip your mallet, walk up to it, and upgrade it directly, assuming you've got the materials and the required research unlocked. It's easier to overlook this, especially since the upgrade system isn't always terribly obvious. For the last tip, we need to talk about the castle at the center of Winterhold. If you haven't made your way out there yet, you definitely should, but be ready. The castle gates open periodically, and when they do, players can enter and face off against some seriously tough enemies inside. Inside are elite NPCs, but if you can get by them, the loot is worth it. You can find high-tier weapons, armor, and rare items that you won't get from regular camps or crates. It's risky, especially since other players will often be heading there as well, but if you can organize a group or go in prepared, it can be one of the best sources of loot in Renown. That's going to do it for this video of Renown. If you'd like to play Renown with friends, make sure to check out bisecthosting.com where you can get a server within minutes. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.